Once again, we have the privilege of talking to Rabbi Leib Tropper, and this segment is known as Shoel Meishiv, and this is number 9. We're now talking about the laws pertaining to Sefira. Obviously, one of the things which is a prevalent halakha that people are very aware of has to do with music and singing during Sefira, and there seem to be a lot of mixed opinions about this. If you can listen to anything, what you're allowed to listen to with music, without music, any type of music, can you sing? What do we need to know pertaining to music and singing during these days of Sefira?
Well, it's hard to call someone a violator of a halacha if you're Shem Zalman or Rav Scheinberg, or Rav Scheinberg, Zecher Tzadik Levracha, Zecher Tzadikim Levracha, approved of certain kind of things. So, Bisman Hazeh actually starts off with the Chuvas Chelkas Yaakov and Chelik Beis, if I remember correctly. The Chelkas Yaakov, Chelik Beis, is talking about Stamazai all year round, listening to music, because the Shulchan Aruch and Tov Kuf Samach talks about the Churban, and we don't listen to music. However, you quote the Rambam in Pirush Mishnayos, that says that not clinical depression, just feeling low-spirited. He calls it Mara Shchayra. That's what it's called, Mara Shchayra. The mood is kind of dark. So the Rambam calls it as a machla. He calls it as an illness. So the Chelkas Yaakov, Rabbi, Zecher Tzadik Levracha, the big Pesach of Europe, says about that particular position, he says, Makam Chayli Legazi Barabanan. It's a call that we know. I don't think we can rely on the Chelkas Yaakov of Breish, who all over Europe, like Rabbi Kotler had special words to speak about Breish Tzadik Levracha from Belgium. I think he was from Belgium, Antwerp, if I remember correctly. Whatever. So Breish and the Chelkas Yaakov has a tshuva about this. Actually, about the tshuva about speaking in the 3 weeks, singing in the 3 weeks, and other times as well. But particularly in 3 weeks and the 9 days even, or perhaps even in Sefira. So I would, number one, mention that position, that even in the 3 weeks, which is Avelus, it's a month that we mourn, we are allowed to do that, Bisman Hazeh, if it's something that is music that inspires and elevates you above that mood that you feel trapped in. Maron of Scheinberg, Zecher Tzadik Levracha, told me and others, many others, that he believes that hearing music on a machine, on a tape, on a CD, or whatever it's called, is not listening to real music, because there's a different voice when you hear a CD. So therefore, he doesn't hold that's really mamish, the voice of the medaber of the zamer. However, the person still gets uplifted from the music. So therefore, he makes a distinction between music that inspires and music that makes you want to dance. I mean, you have some music that sometimes goes like Shirei Zimmer, like Rabbi Meishiv would say, music that makes you want to jump and sing. That kind of music, we do not do that during Sefira. Maybe during a vort or during something like that, you could do that, but not during during the week of the times of Sefira. And Shlomo Zalman Rebbe also holds in the Sefer Halichos Shlema and Sefira, remember, that a person is allowed to sing songs or play music that inspires, that raises a person above the cloud of distress in his life. So regarding that question, I think that we have who to rely on to do that, and not go wild with all the crazy music that I don't even call music. I call it noise. A lot of that music that's wild and just doesn't have no meaning. It's like a drug.
So the fact that something may not have musical accompaniment to it, but nonetheless generates this type of feeling, that would also... I'm
not sure. He didn't say that, but there is a shaila about whether what's it called?
Acapella.
Acapella, right. There is a shaila, and the Chassidish Olam is more supposed to be, even though they make these music tapes, acapella, but some of their poskim, or the Morei Ru, I should say, are makbid not to use acapella on the times that it's prohibited to listen to music.
Mm-hmm. There are many people who for some reason perhaps didn't buy clothing before Yontif and now need to buy clothing for the summer, getting ready for camp. Is there a prohibition about purchasing new clothing during the Sefira?
I would say as follows. A person who goes to work and has to have a nice suit. So the makar that it's not important is that the Tumas Edition says that he heard about this minhag not to buy clothing and say Shachiyanu in the 3 weeks. In this time of Lag Baimer, in the Sefira, in this Catholic Sefira. And he says his word is very powerful, strong words. He says, minhag noshimhu. Some ladies made up that minhag. But he says, Mitzad din, it's mutter. Moran harav Avadi Yosef, zecher tzadik levracha, in his Sefer, called Yalkut Kol Sinai, was a Sefer printed in Tafshin Chavav, which is not easily available today. He says that he also holds this mutter b'mokum, where it's a chassan buying something, clothing, or a person in his business has to have it, or some other good reason, not just to buy, because I see a sale, so on and so forth. It could be that if it's a big hefsid, it's also maybe it's mutter to buy, put away, and not wear it right away. But clothing that you need to, even a suit that you need to wear in the 9 days, and make the shachiyanu, 9 days, in Sefira, you need to make the shachiyanu. It could be that it's mutter to do that b'shas hatchak if it's needed, as I mentioned. We're in a different matzav today than we were many years ago in terms of where we're holding with all the Mesu Talmido Shalom Akiva. I know that we spoke about what is the real message of Sefira Saimer. There's a lot of things. I don't want to go and talk about all over again what my Rabbi heard from his Mashiach and Branovich from Chona Wasserman, Bisol Langel Bachinsky, what they heard from Tzivi Goldstein, Zechet Tzadik Levracha. But just to say the main message of Sefira is the importance and the significance and the endearment that we have to time. The Meiri writes in Shin Chof Tes, in Sim Shin Chof Tes, the Bir Halacha brings the Meiri. He hasn't asked this question, but it's about this question. If I were to tell you that to save a shul of 2,000 Sifrei Kodesh that are burning on Shabbos, you're not allowed to go. Even though Kibri is a malacha, Rashi says in the Shabbos Yid Beis, Shabbos, that Kibri is a malacha she'ein tzricha legufa. It's not putting out, the extinguishing a fire is only ein tzricha legufa. That is also on Shabbos with 2 million Sifrei Torah stuck in a room. But a person who's not Gansen from, modern Orthodox from, who's a goysis is about to die, and all you can do, you can't save him. You can only extend his life another few seconds. That's mutter to violate Kippur Shachal b'Shabbos to do that. What's going on? What? How do we understand that? So I understand that the Meiri, I remember seeing the Bir Halachan, the Meiri says, because we don't know what a person could do in 1 second. What a mind, the Eibush to give us the Tzelem Malkim is in his mind. As Shlomo used to say, what do we know? What do we know? 1 second of a person's mind, he could do more than he did his whole life, or more than some other people could do their whole life. One machshava. I know my Zayda Olav Shalom, the Eliv in Babolnik, when he was in Holyoke, he's above there, so he has strong stomach pains, and Dr. Jaffe told me that he went to him, he's always thinking and learning, because it was a sick ratio, he could not think and learning. It was impossible for him not thinking. His mind was so like atomic. So he was thinking, and Dr. Jaffe said, Rabbi, do you have any pain? Is it worth living with this pain that you have in your stomach? He says, if I have one thought in Torah, all the pain in the world is worth it. So I hope we appreciate that message about Sefira and the halachas that you asked. I hope I did the best to at least alleviate certain concerns.
Thank you very much, Rabbi Leib.
Thank you.